name is Jill Robinson. I'm a social worker at St. Joseph's Healthcare London. I specifically work with patients who have sustained a brain injury or a concussion. Welcome to this session on navigating emotional changes in your recovery from a brain injury. What we will cover: common emotional changes, self-management tools to regulate your emotions, a type of mindfulness practice called grounding, what it is, when to use it, the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise. While it is normal to experience changes in your emotions after a brain injury, you may have difficulty controlling your emotions and behaviors such as anger, frustration, and anxiety. You may find that your emotions, especially ones we consider negative, can be bigger or more intense than before your injury. The increased intensity and frequency of these emotions may lead to feelings of anxiety and low mood. Another change you could experience is something called emotional lability, which is when your emotional response doesn't match the situation.
For me, I know sometimes I will have times when it should be a really, really sad time, but I don't react kind of in that way either. I'll be flat, or I will I'll get nervous, I guess, about it, and I'll start to either cry or laugh, or like sometimes the emotion just doesn't match what I'm feeling.
Yeah, like you blow things out of proportion for something small, and then something that is big, you don't react the way that you're supposed to react. Like, yeah I get it. You laugh when you're not supposed to laugh. You cry when you shouldn't cry. So I completely understand that. It's there is no rule book or book that they can give you to say, okay, you have a head injury, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, like even just recently, we just had my grandson's first birthday. Should be a really, really happy time. We were all there, we were laughing, and he was eating his cake, and I just started crying. Everybody's laughing, and I'm crying.
Wow.
So my daughter's sitting there, rubbing my back. Are you okay, Mom?
Yeah. No, I just have the problem of where I get more angry at times than I should at things. I mean, not to the point where I show anger, but just internally, right?
Yeah.
I just, because of what people told me when I was sick, I'm so scared now to show any anger or to show any aggression, because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm that person. But inside I'm fuming over stuff that I shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, I've had that too. Not hot or anything, but my husband literally lifted the frying pan off of the stove and put it on the counter, and I lost it. Like, you'd swear he had put a hole in the wall or ripped the cupboard off.
Let's take a closer look at the emotions of anger and frustration and how these emotions may look different than before your injury. You may experience increased irritability when trying to do something and it doesn't go as planned or doesn't happen the way it used to. This often causes people to want to give up on a task. This may lead to feelings of anger and feeling out of control of your life, whereas before your injury, feelings of frustration may have resolved before leading to anger. Unresolved frustration may be experienced as anger before you even realize it. You may feel out of control with your anger and not be aware of what is triggering this response. Patients will often describe their level of anger reaching a 10 out of 10 instantly. The way you express your anger may have also changed after your injury. You may now swear, hit, yell, or feel so overwhelmed that you shut down. Effective anger management strategies are: start to recognize what your physical symptoms of anger are and implement a strategy to stop anger from getting out of control. We have included a PDF of a tool called the Anger Ruler that helps you describe what your anger looks like on a scale from 1 through 10. This may be a useful tool for both you and your social supports to help understand your signs and intensities of anger, allowing you to manage before it escalates. Take a time out, and if safe to do so, leave the situation. It would be important to tell family and friends that you are using this strategy to manage your anger so that they are aware and give you some space to effectively manage your emotions. Breathing exercises. Positive self-talk. You are a good person, but going through a difficult time. Visualization. Picture yourself in a place that brings you joy. All of these can be done during a timeout if appropriate. Once you are calm, you can start to think about what triggered your anger.
I never knew what anxiety was until I had this injury. It's weird. It would come at the weirdest times, or, I'd be at chapters, and for some reason I'd be anxious. I don't know why. I don't know what set it off, but just for some reason I was in chapters and I was anxious. I had to go. Not that I was in any danger. It was just for some reason I just didn't want to be there. I
had my first one. I was at home, completely relaxed situation. My husband and my stepdaughter and I were playing a game. It was going well. Game was over. They were packing up, and I just had a panic attack, and I had to go and lock myself in my room.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what set it off. It just hit.
My first one was at a hockey game. And I'd been to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hockey games over the years with my kids and all that kind of stuff. I got in the rink, sat where we always sit, that kind of stuff, and the pep band started playing, and that was the end of it. All that noise, confusion, right? And it took that whole hockey season of going, changing things, sitting different spots, all that kind of stuff it was the next season before I got myself through a whole hockey game. But it's just kind of understanding what sets it off and how it's going to go and that kind of stuff, and you can kind of work your way through it.
As a result of brain injury and subsequent life changes, you may feel you're struggling with your identity, and this can often lead to experiencing symptoms of anxiety and/or low mood. Anxiety can be characterized by fight or flight response, irrational thought, something bad is going to happen with no evidence to support that thought, racing thoughts, a constant feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease. Low mood can be characterized by feelings of sadness, lack of initiation or motivation, change in sleep or eating routines, feeling flat, and these feelings may cause you to want to isolate from friends and family. Things to help improve mood: journaling, mindfulness, exercise, it releases our feel-good hormones, establish and follow routine, including regular sleep, talk to friends and family about how you're feeling. If you're experiencing any symptoms of anxiety or low mood, it's important to talk to your doctor or care team. In case the need arises, crisis supports are available through your local Canadian Mental Health Association, CMHA, and or your local emergency room. If you're in the London area, Reach Out is a 24/7 crisis line that also offers web chat where trained counselors are available to support you. There is also a great app called Be Safe that allows you to create a safety plan that you can access in times of crisis. I often recommend that you create a safety plan when you are not in crisis and to share it with a trusted support person. One of the most important things you can do is celebrate your improvements and try to avoid comparing yourself pre-injury. And remember that not everything that may be contributing to low mood is directly related to the brain injury. Difficult situations occurred before the injury too.
Oh, you have to be your own top priority. You still have to heal. You still have to get yourself where you feel comfortable with yourself. And some people it takes longer and some people it takes shorter, but it's a journey that you have to go through. And people, I don't want to say need to understand, but it's a lot easier if they do understand that if you don't take care of yourself, you can't be better for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and that's hard for a lot of people to realize, that you have to take care of yourself, because we've always been so used to taking care of everybody else.
One of the strategies you may find helpful to regulate your emotions is a type of mindfulness practice called grounding. Grounding is a set of simple strategies that can help you detach from emotional pain, such as anger, sadness, and fear. When you're overwhelmed with emotional pain, you need a way to detach so that you can gain control over your feelings and stay safe. This type of distraction works by focusing your attention on the external world rather than inwards towards the self. You can think of it as a form of centering your mind and your body. Grounding can be done anytime, anywhere, and no one needs to be aware that you are utilizing this technique. Thanks for coming today. So what I thought we'd start off group this morning with is a type of mindfulness called grounding. And grounding is a really useful type of mindfulness as it helps us detach from negative emotions. So this exercise in particular is called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise. It's really useful when we're feeling like our emotions are overwhelming and we don't have control over them. It's also very useful for anxiety. So what we'll do, and I invite you to join along, is I'm going to review the exercise, and then we will close our eyes. We're going to take 3 breaths, and when you open your eyes on the last exhale, I'm going to have you do the exercise. So the way the exercise works is it's called 5-4-3-2-1. I have you scan your environment for 5 things that you can see. So for example, I can see the walls are green. I can see the blind is closed. I can see Mark, you're wearing a gray shirt. I can see Sherry, you have a purple shirt on and your necklace is a heart. Then what you do is scan for 4 things you can feel on yourself. So for me, I can feel the bracelet on my wrist. I can feel my jacket against my back. I can feel my shoe against my foot, and I can feel that I'm sitting on a chair. Then we scan the environment for 3 things that we can hear. I can hear the hum of the furnace. I can hear someone walking in the hallway, and I can hear the sound of someone typing in a nearby office. We then scan the environment for 2 things that we can smell. I can smell the soil in the plant behind me and the leaves of the plant. And then finally, 1 positive about myself. So I have a good smile that's contagious would be a good example of that. So when you're ready, I want you to sit comfortably in your chair with your back against the rest of the chair and close your eyes. And I want you to take an inhale and then slowly exhale. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Another inhale and slowly exhale. And 1 more inhale and slowly exhale. Now I'll get you to open your eyes. And I want you to scan your environment for 5 things that you can see. 4 things that you can feel. 3 things that you can hear. 2 things that you can smell. And 1 positive thing about yourself. Okay, how did that exercise feel?
Good. Very good.
Good. Were you able to go through all the 5 items for each of them? Excellent. So I encourage you guys to practice this exercise regularly. It's a good one, as I said, when you're feeling out of control of your emotions or when you're feeling really anxious. So you could use it as a transitional exercise throughout your day between activities. Now that we have reviewed the 3 most common types of emotional changes that may occur after sustaining a brain injury, it is our hope that you understand that these changes can be part of the typical or normal experience following brain injury. Several of the strategies suggested in the video, including grounding, journaling, talking with friends and family, exercise, and following a daily routine, when used consistently, can allow you to regulate your emotions during your journey through your recovery.